This semi-finals down to two drivers, the Cobra or the Taylormade, and this was last year's finals. Last year, this was my highest viewed head-to-head, and I'm so excited to have these guys in the semis. I think that's my personal record for club head speed. Cobra says, not so fast, Taylormade. I'm gonna keep up with you, 359 total. Is the Cobra or the Taylormade moving on? Which one do you think? So last year's Taylormade Stealth won, and last year's Cobra LTDX LS were so close in the head-to-head, the Cobra ended up edging the Stealth and winning. A lot of you subscribers have asked, have they improved both of these drivers? The simple answer is yes. Both of these drivers are better than last year's. So the fact that these guys are in the semis, I'm so excited to see which one of these is going on to the finals. If you're new to the channel, the way this works, I'm using a TrackMan, a Pro V1 RCT ball. We're in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, where the elevation is set to 3,428 feet. Both of these drivers have the exact same stock shaft option. We are using the Hazardous Gen 4 Black. It's a 6.5 flex in 60 grams, standard loft setting. Both drivers on a draw bias. The winner of this head-to-head has to be accurate and long. I'm gonna do 15 hits with both. We're gonna take the total distance, subtract by the average yards offline. That's how we find our winner. Taylormade woods have always performed well for me, and I talked to a lot of subscribers that love the Taylormade drivers and woods. The term Taylormade has been going with this year is forgiveness, and there's no question that the Stealth 2 goes far. I'm running out of things to talk about the Stealth Plus because this is my fourth time, I think, filming with this driver, and it's really good. Like, no wonder it's in the semifinals. I find maybe because it's just a 1/4 inch longer than almost everything that we hit, I am able to swing this faster consistently. So how do I calculate the forgiveness, which is this made up Taylormade term? The way that I look at it, that last hit had a 1.44 smash factor, which is not very good. It still carried 324, rolled out 353, and the spin was extremely low. So I've hit drivers of similar contact, spin goes way up, pops the ball up, doesn't go very far. So the fact that Taylormade can make a driver that my not as good hits are still getting those numbers is stupid, man. Cobra has his work cut out for it. I'll tell you that much. So I want you guys to know that I pretty much read every single comment in the comment section. A common thing people have been talking about is that distance is outperforming dispersion. And I kind of agree with you guys that it seems like the drivers that have been going further and even far offline are beating drivers that are shorter but tighter. We haven't found a perfect formula. We've watched a lot of other channels to see what they do for their bracket. This formula seems to be the most consistent, so we're always trying to make our videos better, but I just want you guys to know that I am listening to you and we are trying to make our videos better based on your suggestions. I think that's my personal record for club head speed. 123.6. I don't think I've ever swung it that fast. I've had some creep into like 121, a couple of 122s, but I think that right there was the fastest I've ever swung a club on camera. What's funny on the PGA Tour is when they first made the big marketing push with the Stealth 2 coming out, a lot of their players were using it. And then I think a lot of their players switched back to previous models. They were kind of trashing, well, I wouldn't say the Taylormade guys were trashing it, but they were going back to other models. But Scheffler was still winning with this driver, and I'm pretty sure he's still using it today. So there are still some tour players that are swearing by this driver. So the Stealth 2 Plus comes in at $630 US or $830 Canadian. If you want to do the upgrade in the My Stealth and change the colors, you're looking at about another $150 to $200. So before I look at the data on the Stealth, I'm gonna get right into hitting the Cobra. Then at the end, that's when I'm gonna compare the two to find the winner. Moving on to the finals. Okay guys, we're moving on to the Cobra Aerojet LS, their low spin head, a driver that I have fallen in love with. It does have a very, very slight handicap. It's a 1/4 inch shorter than the Taylormade. I'm gonna do what I can to keep up with the Stealth, and hopefully this is as close as I think it's gonna be. Cobra says, not so fast, Taylormade. I'm gonna keep up with you, 359 total. So I used to work in golf retail like 15 years ago, and I was always a Taylormade guy. I never liked Cobra, and up until last year, I still didn't like Cobra until I hit that LTDX LS. What I think is so cool about Cobra is just their demographic seems to be a little bit younger, those up-and-comer golfers. They have less traditional colors, they're more out there, they're a louder golf brand, and that I think is why I've started to gravitate towards them, and their clubs are pretty sick. Another cool driver, I'll pull up a picture right now, is the PTC, their Palm Tree Crew driver. This is a limited edition driver. It's a collab they've done with Cobra Puma, and I think this driver looks sick. So guys, full transparency, I can't do these reviews full time without the help of some sponsors. One of our sponsors, NetCoins, the president reached out to me. He was a fan of the channel, and to me, I thought that was so cool. He wanted to sponsor this bracket series. So the bracket series sponsor is NetCoins. NetCoins is a regulated North American crypto trading platform. With over 35 coins to choose from and no funding fees, getting started is easy. Join with my referral code NEWNINE and get $25 cash reward when you trade $100 worth of crypto. Sign up today on netcoins.com/US or netcoins.com/CA. Have we hit 123 with this yet? 122.3 is still large. At only 2,300 spin, come on. So I've talked to a lot of you guys, actually a lot of you messaged me on Instagram asking if I'm sponsored by Cobra, sponsored by Taylormade. I have no brand deals with anyone. These numbers are speaking for themselves. So really, I put in my bag what I get the best results with. The what?
28.
Yeah. Is that personal best?
On camera, I think.
Have we cracked 360? Well, we might have another new personal best. I don't think I've ever cracked 360 in a session. So even though my club head speed wasn't the fastest, ball speed wasn't the fastest, total distance 361 might be another personal best. And we're only in the semifinals. I've talked to a lot of you subscribers, maybe not even necessarily subscribers, people that just fly by the channel and they say, if you swing it so fast and you hit it so far, why aren't you playing on the PGA Tour? What those people fail to understand is that the majority of that is made up inside of 100 yards. These pros are so good with their wedges, chipping and putting that my game is nowhere near that. So I do still have amateur status. The only reason why I'm considering challenging my pro status is to play in the Good Championship. You have to be a pro to play there. So I'm just trying to weigh the pros and cons to see if I decide to really work on my game and try to turn pro, or if I just keep amateur status and play all these course events that I love playing. So I'm just not sure what I want to do this year. So even though the Cobra is shorter, I feel so far that my smash factor is up. So maybe the shorter driver is actually an advantage, but I won't know until I compare the data. I'm turning pro. 900 yards offline. Is that 15? Yeah. I don't think I've ever had one session with two drivers with that many hits over 350. I'm so excited to check out this data. That was a workout. We swung both of those hard and fast. When I talk to a lot of you guys, you're interested in like one factor that should make one driver better than the other. I still don't know what that answer is. So like, what would you guys say is the one deciding factor? Is it accuracy? Is it distance? Is it forgiveness? Is it feel, look, sound? Like there's so many deciding factors. I think for me personally in my own game, accuracy is huge. That I want to consistently be in the fairway as I imagine you guys would too. So when I'm losing drives left, right, and center, to me, I'm thinking of accuracy. So I'll have to consider into next year's driver bracket what I can do to maybe make accuracy just a little more heavily weighted. So let's take a look at these two shot tracers. This white is the Taylormade Stealth Plus, and the yellow is the Cobra. There is differences between the heads, and in all of my testing, the Stealth Plus with the draw weight setting, standard loft was like perfect for me. I was able to make it perform best on that setup. Just looking at these two, I see a lot more consistency in the Aerojet, and maybe that's because it's a shorter shaft. So earlier we thought it might be a disadvantage, but it could actually be an advantage. At the bottom of the screen is all of my averages between the two. So let's start with the Stealth because we hit it first. Average club speed, 121.8 is so fast. That's like 3 to 4 miles an hour faster than my normal averages. Ball speed is high. Spin is perfect, maybe just lower than perfect. Carry 321 average, 348 total. Like I'm averaging almost 350 yards with their driver is disgusting. How does the Cobra compare? I had the exact same club head speed with both drivers, exact same. 121.8 is the exact same with both drivers. Ball speed was up with the Cobra. So I was hitting the Cobra just a little bit harder. Spin, we're within like identical, right? Carry, 5 yards further. Total, 6 yards further. Smash factor was up. So I was hitting the Cobra better. Let's look at my dispersion. Let's look at the dispersion because we need to find an accurate driver too. So let's look at the Stealth 2 Plus first. The good news is I didn't lose one ball out of bounds. So all of them are in play with just a couple in the rough. And I painted the line quite well. I had 1, 2, I had about 5 right on the line, swinging at 121, carrying at 321. Far giving? You know, you guys be the judge, okay? Now let's take a look at the Cobra. So here's something to consider. I lost one OB and one is right on the edge of being OB and then another one in the rough. But the tight collection of my best hits, 1, 2, 3, within 3 yards of the line. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like the consistency that I was getting out of the Cobra, this will be so interesting to see how the math plays out to see which one of these drivers is gonna win. So let's do some math.
Oh my God, dude.
Crazy. But that's how it goes. Millions of people live in this world. So I briefly want to talk about dispersion again. I would say looking at the dispersion chart, you'd be crazy not to say that the Aerojet isn't tighter dispersion. With this formula that we use, I think these ones that are way out of bounds really throw off the average. I understand that this formula isn't perfect. It's up to your interpretation to find out which one's more accurate. When I do all of the math, so let's go to both drivers. The Taylormade average, 348.2 yards total. The average yards offline were 21.58, leaving us with a total of 326 yards, 0.62. Unreal performance out of the Stealth 2 Plus. Super hot driver and far giving? Now the Cobra, believe it or not, came out to be less accurate. So the average total yards was 354.3. The average yards offline was 22.49, leaving us with a total of 331 yards, 0.81, which means the Cobra is moving on to the finals. And if you want to see the full review on the Aerojet lineup, you can click this video right here. I break down every single head for the Weekend Warrior or the high handicap or the big slicer in your group. There's a driver for everyone. Take a look at that video.